Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday evening. Don't worry, Invisible Ricky will be here. He was just getting um, his cell phone. I always say this show works best when you all participate. Participation is key. Hopefully, we are on YouTube and Facebook. And if you could all let me know, Genetic Potential says good evening. Good evening to you. Good evening. Yes, we are on Facebook and we are on YouTube. We got Smirnoff always there in the corner. But starting next week, we have a new sponsor on our show. Can't tell you what it's going to be, but you have to wait for next week's Monday night show. And we are on Facebook. So good evening to all. As we wait for Ricky to come in, uh, we'll just wait for Ricky to come in. It'll just be you and me like old times, eh? Enjoy your beverage, guys. Again, I don't recommend anything other than vodka for a Monday night family show, or you can have Duvel's. Very good. If you are in the United States, you can get some real good Belgian beers in the US. In Canada, you can't get them so much, which is kind of shitty. So, on that note, we will start the show off. Pigeon racing now in Southern Ontario has started. And where you guys are flying, you let me know what you guys are doing flying in the US. If you're flying clubs and combines, or if you're just one loft racing, we can discuss little tricks and tips that probably will help you get a little bit better and get you closer to the result that you're looking for. We need some more Belgian beer reviews. Well, when I go back to Belgium, I will give you more Belgian beer reviews. I will say, Genetic Potential. Uh,
Come on.
the Belgian beer is fantastic. The problem in Belgium is there's 800 beers. There's a lot of beer to taste and try. And you know, the other thing is there's beers that you got to pour in bowls. Uh, and I like to drink the beers that you can pour them into the right glass. I think it just looks better. Flying in the EOC and OLRs. All right. Well, the EOC will, I believe they start racing this weekend. And the Up North Combine, that they say that this is the best combine in Canada. They've had 2 race weekends. So we're going to actually look at the race weekends. We're just going to, you know what? We're going to play the commentary on it. We're going to look at how many birds were released and
In our opinion, and we've taken opinions from being in Europe and actually physically being with the champions while they're racing, and watching exactly, not saying, well, you went to visit so and so. Well, he said that, Ryan. He said that. No, we physically watched the game.
yeah.
Watched the game, and we've done some comparison to people that really want to fly racing pigeons, opposed to, have to say, amateurish backyard pigeon flyers here. I'm going to call them
Well,
backyard.
they have to be backyard because it's a third world country for flying pigeons in.
Exactly 100%. So we've done some comparisons.
Well, I can't get it on your phone now because your phone has no.
Oh,
I don't know. You got rid. The only guy I know who can get rid of Google on his phone, but you got rid of it.
so whatever. So yeah, and oh yeah, we got the boys in Belgium. They put 20 birds in a race, and within, I'd say, latest 20 minutes to get all the birds in. All the birds are in. And the bird that comes 18, 19, or 20 minutes He's classified as the late guy, and he better watch out because the garden needs a little bit of fertilizer. That's how these
So
people think.
so what we're going to do is we're going to look week by week here on some of these results, and we're going to,
You found it, eh?
yeah.
That's good.
Now, again, I can't compare Canada to Belgium. I can't compare Canada to Holland. I can't compare Canada to any country for pigeon racing. I can't compare them. No, no, they can't even be brought to the level, and that's understandable. This is isn't this is this is just pigeon flying here. A little bit of racing, but flying. Just this is what it is.
Yeah.
So you can't. I hate to say this, but you can't knock these people because they're not. It's not
Well,
bred into them.
they physically don't even really know.
No, but it's not bred into them.
No, it's not bred into them, but they don't really know. And I see a lot of these people here in this Toronto area. You go to an event and they're walking around with their chests out, like, you know who he is? Well, I'm sorry, he's got a lot to learn. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, you just had a discussion with
So
someone.
let's just look at this. The first race there last week, Dunchurch for the Up North Combine. I'm not going to post the photo up here on the page. You're going to have to take my word for it because that's extra shit that I don't want to do. But there's 54 lofts that ship for old birds, and there's 953 pigeons. Okay, that's a good little number. I think it's 54 guys are playing, 953 pigeons. So let's see. And I'm just going to look here. On that first page, 44 pigeons. It took 44 pigeons to clock 22 minutes.
How many different flyers was that?
54 lofts.
But of 54 lofts. I hate to say it, but
The speeds, speeds were beautiful. Speeds are flying.
Yeah, I'm coming.
I don't understand these people.
Yeah, I'm home. The light's on, but nobody's home. Or what did they say?
See, guys, this is what happens when you're selling. Anyways, 1432 meters per minute. Good fast speeds. Birds moving good. But if you look on this race, on that first page, first bird's clocking at speeds of 1432, and in the 44th pigeon is clocking at 1227 speeds. What's going on here? What's going on? What are the problems here? What's the problem with this? Does anybody see a problem with this? Very easy day, very good speeds. And I'll look in the top 10. Huber, Ferreira, Karloff. And in that first page, there's one, two, three, four, five. There's about 12 guys on the page. 12 guys made the first page, the first 44 pigeons. I look at this and the pigeons aren't worked right. The pigeons haven't been worked enough. And these are old birds. They're actually, these pigeons here are flying worse than young birds. Their young bird results will be better. I bet you if we go and look at the first race of young birds, the results are better. And guys don't put the work into the pigeons, period. Period. And it's funny when I look at the board here of pigeon flyers that are in there, they're the only ones that do a little bit of work. And they do the work, and then the people down below, they're all pissed off. They all get upset. They make excuses on why it's not going, what's going on. My birds aren't coming right. But I just want to know, you know, I just want to wonder How are these guys playing their pigeons? What are you guys doing with the pigeons for old birds? What's your system? What's your training system? What's your motivation? What do you guys do? Because there's got to be a better way to get a better result. Because I just look at this, and these results, I guarantee you, their young bird results will be better because they put a little more work in. If you need a calculator, let me know. Again, guys, this show works best when you participate. Medication. How much medication are guys using? Pumping, pumping, pumping. Jeff Henderson, good morning from down under. Milton from Hawaii says, aloha. Very nice show. You're very welcome. The pigeons, they don't need medication. The more you medicate them, they can't go week after week after week. You got to really watch. Josh Tribby says 60-mile training toss on a Wednesday or a Thursday. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about Josh, and that's great. I'm talking about the season starting now. Okay. When the season starts, you're not putting no more condition on. You have to have the condition there. So I ask people before the first old bird race, and you can use this scenario into the same thing as young birds. Before the first old bird race, what are your old birds doing? Are they loft flying once a day? Are they loft flying twice a day? Are they being trained once a day? How many days do you train them consecutively? How much training do you do? What style of training do you do? You know, I went to Italy and Luca Campanelli, and I went there and he was flying 8 widowhood. I think it was eight or 10 widowhood cocks. You guys seen the loft tour I did, and I found it quite interesting that he would train his old birds before the first race. He would train them 40 times. 40 times. Anywhere from 20 kilometers to 60 kilometers. 20 or 60? Yeah. It was 20. He had spots at 20, spots at 40, and spots at 60. And he said, my old birds, they got to go about 40 times down the road. So, and I thought, wow, very well trained. I like that. And then he would train them throughout the week. But the one thing I thought was really intriguing to me was he would train his pigeons on the last toss all in singles. And I don't know if you guys watched that on the show, but I thought that was quite smart, quite unique. And he flies good young birds, same style young birds, but he brings the old birds into the right condition. And remember, it's not just loft flying condition. That's loft flying. They're thinking a little bit, yeah, okay. They come in, they're going, yeah, yeah, up, down, flying around, stretching muscles, good. But when you road train a pigeon, when you physically road train a pigeon, it does not matter if it's 5 kilometers or 2 miles, 5 miles, 20 miles, 60. You train them. That's mind condition. Now, Jeff Henderson says 12 little hood cocks trained once per day, one toss from 45 kilometers on Tuesday, and 12-kilometer toss Thursday, basket Friday. Okay. How are those results? And when I know, Jeff, you're in Australia. So you're saying one toss, 45 kilometers on Tuesday, and a 12-kilometer toss on Thursday. Basket them on Friday. So throughout the race season, you're training them twice in the week, and they're loft flying once per day for those cocks. But I'm talking about guys before the season, preparing them to be ready to do the damage.
I would say you need at least a minimum of 6 weeks to do it right. And if you can do it 8 weeks, it's better.
Yeah.
And yeah, they should loft fly once a day would be good. And again, like we said on the show the other night, we see the fellas in Europe, they don't let the yearlings out with the 2 or 3 year olds. They don't let hens out with the if naturally with the widowhood cock. But and the other thing is putting your birds together. I don't know if you talked about that. Your old bird race team. I wouldn't put them together if I'm going to be on a natural system or a widowhood system. Even I wouldn't even put them together. I put them together the week before the first race.
Mm.
Right. That's what I would do. That
but but
controls
but but
controls the molt.
but I'm thinking, and Josh says I did things a little different this year. I would loft fly them every other day, and I'd take them down the road 20 to 60 miles, 20 to 30 times. That's good.
Really
You're getting them good road smart. Now, Josh, I'm going to throw this little don't eat when we're doing this.
I'm not eating.
Because you're going to pick at it all night. It drives me.
I love onions. They're supposed to be good for
No.
your heart.
Oh,
Good for
when I
everything.
make you dinner, eat it.
Well, I ate onions too. I even like those onions. Okay. So what did Jeff
I don't
say?
like hearing you
Somebody said
chew.
something.
You sound like you're a
So
goat.
what?
Anyways, we start 7 weeks out from the first races, Jeff Henderson, May 31st. And I'll say, guys, when you are training, if you can break those birds down into groups, like once you've got them trained 3 or 4 times down the road, you got the kinks out of them a little bit
Yeah.
with old birds. Right away, I drop those pigeons into groups of fives, groups of threes, groups of tens, never in big groups, and just break them down, break them down, break them up, break them down, break them up, break them down, up, down, up, down. And you get more pigeons thinking. Always remember, when you train them in a big group, there's the same 4 or 5 pigeons doing the work.
Yeah.
And all the rest, you know what they do? They look good.
Even when you loft fly 30 pigeons. There's, I don't know, 2, 3, 5, maybe 10 that are leading the group. They're going around, they're coming around, whatever. The other 20, they're just hanging in for the ride. They really are. They're not thinking. Okay. But when you break them down, like Ryan said, now we start to see difference.
Okay.
And if you can break them down to 3 in a group, and also I say when you do those breakdowns, break them down different pigeons every time if you can. And don't, again, don't have cocks and hens together.
No.
Right?
Even if you're leaving your cocks and your hens together in the loft, it's a love system. They can go on eggs. They can do whatever they want. Okay, you have that. Let's say you have all your cocks and hens together. I don't think it's right, but if you do, okay. But when you train them,
Would you have your cocks and hens together?
no.
So,
But there are people that are going to do this. So what I'm saying is, if you are that person that's doing that, slightly wrong. Okay, you don't want to change it, or that's what you're playing. Make sure when you train them, you don't train the hens together with the cocks. And here's another little tip: always let the hens go first. The hens will come home, and they'll go in, and then you start with your cocks.
the cocks come.
And the cocks always come into a little bit of motivation.
What you just said was, even if it's slightly wrong, there's an X against you right there.
Okay, but
Slightly wrong.
but
And
but but there are okay. There are people that are doing this. So what am I supposed to say? You're an idiot?
Don't say it's good. It's
No,
slightly
I'm
wrong.
not. Okay.
Anything is slightly wrong
Fuck.
is not good.
Okay.
Drive at night with your headlights off. That's slightly wrong. You might, somebody.
So what do you want me to say? All those people are doing that.
I'm saying that's an X against you.
All right. That's not the best way to get them in. Get the car in perfect form.
100%.
But if you are that person, Well, no, we're having. You want me to? Hey, everybody watching, separate your hens and cocks and be fucking perfect.
I want to do it right.
They can't do it. They don't do it.
No.
Because I look here in the up north combine.
What?
In 20 minutes, they can't get 40 goddamn pigeons home.
That's pretty damn.
Okay, so that's telling me that 54 flyers there, right?
Yeah.
Guess what they're all doing? They got their hands in their pockets and they're playing with their nuts.
Well, they got their thumb right up their
Right.
keister. Like, yeah.
Now hold on. I got more comments.
Again, that is plain terrible.
I got some more. I got some more comments.
And the other thing I wanted to say before I forget,
I
don't believe in training my pigeons if I'm taking them on the road with other people's birds. I don't believe in it. It's not a good idea. It's not good. Don't do it.
Okay. So
there's another. What should I say? Another reason of saying this is not good to do. Well, he's doing that. Well, okay, then he lets his hens and cocks, whatever you said, together. There's another thing that's not good to do. What else is there? You know, we're talking about making people trying to be as professional in pigeon flying as possible.
Right, but I'm saying if there's a guy that has hens and cocks together, and that's what he's got them together, okay, and you're taking them training, don't train them together. The hens always go first.
Exactly what
But your first move is it's wrong anyways. But hey, we're gonna try and correct you a little bit and make sure that the hens go up always first. So the cocks are always coming home to the hens.
Yeah.
Even if they're together.
Try and break them down in smaller groups.
Right. Okay.
And I'm saying let those groups try and switch those groups all the time.
Right.
So
another thing, I got some comments. When you start letting birds out, don't do the Mike Vanderyak hoppity doo dah day 1 minute apart because you're an idiot. When you start doing them in small groups, if you have 25 pigeons or you have 50 pigeons, obviously you have 25 cocks. They go up. You've done it a few times, okay? You drop them to 12 cocks, 10 minutes apart. Then the next time out, you go those cocks. You drop them into groups of 5, and you go still 10 minutes apart. Once you see that they're doing it good, then you drop them to 5 minutes apart. And 5 minutes apart, once those birds have been trained 12, 14, 15 times, you drop them to 5 minutes, they'll never get together. They'll always just break and go, break and go, break and go. You do not want to let them out 2 minutes apart, 3 minutes apart, 1 minute apart, and they hook up. And they hook up because what you're teaching them to do,
then you're in trouble.
You're teaching them to wait instead of think. Now, comments. Josh Tribley says, we had good weather. Late winter, my old birds were loft line 30 to 45 minutes. Now, here's another thing. Weather. What is bad weather? You can train the pigeons every single day. I don't care what the weather is, but you have to have a short spot, a middle spot, and a longer spot. So you look and say, hey, the weather today, it's raining, it's drizzling, it's heavy overcast, it's not stopping. I can take them to the 10-mile spot. They got more than enough time to make it. They can fly through the weather and they do it. And I can take them there 2 or 3 times in that day. And you get them used to playing in the weather. If you feel, hey, the weather's a little better, you take them up to your 20-mile spot and you can play them. I don't believe in this weather thing. To me, this is just a pigeon man making a candy ass excuse
The only other part about weather is if it's like heavy duty fog, I wouldn't take them up. Okay, that's something I wouldn't do.
No, not
heavy shit where you can't even see the end of your hood of your car.
Now, heavy fog, okay, is a pass.
I wouldn't do that.
That's a pass. Leave them in. Leave them in. That's fine on heavy fog. But anything else, 100-mile-an-hour headwinds, crosswinds, low ceiling, drizzle, I'm not worried about the rest of it. And if you have a few spots that your birds are used to playing at, you have no problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't take them 10 miles. And I'm just saying, folks, in a downpour. Like, I got there, it was downpouring. I let them out, because he said it's short, 10 miles. No, you got to use some of your little bit of
And
idea.
again, if you get there and it's downpouring,
Just hold off.
just hold off. Have a cigarette and a coffee. You'll be fine.
Let it blow away.
Let it blow away for 10 minutes. Olympic Johnny and Verstrada, top star, won the club the last 2 weeks. Hey, good job, Josh Tribley from Feathers Elite Pigeons. He bought both of them at the Perth Amboy that you held. Hey, good job. I'm happy you did it. Fly them all weather. They aren't rollers. Yes. If you fly them and play them in the weather and you respect them, but you educate them, that's another education. But the battle is always when you let them out, they have to come. They have to come. And here's another thing: when you start training them, your first few tosses, please don't make it in heavy rain or bad. No, just get up a few times down the road regular, and then say, hey, we have hard headwinds, we have hard tailwinds. The wind's hard at east. I talked to a guy the other day. He wouldn't train his pigeons because the wind was too hard out of the east. And I say, if you don't play them in east winds today, when you get to the race and they let them up in east winds, your birds will wobble.
So we've discussed a little bit about why this.
Hey, Alfred.
We looked at performance on this up north combine, and it's just plain. We like to knock, but that is true. It's pathetic. Okay, and we've given you a few reasons or few answers to why you should be performing on a better level flying racing pigeons. But this also gives you a few items on your sheet, an excuse sheet. Oh, I didn't do that. That's why they didn't come. I didn't do this. That's why they didn't come. I didn't do that. That's why I didn't come. Oh, the drywall, I was waiting for it to dry, the mud to dry. That's why I couldn't train. Well, that's exactly what all you guys are doing, saying, and it's you know what? You're not pigeon flyers when you do that. You got enough excuses now to say, "Oh, I didn't do that. That's why." Ooh, but then you know what these people do? They blame the pigeons. They say, "You know what? I spent X dollars on that pigeon, and it didn't do worth a shit. That pigeon is garbage. It didn't do a shit." Well, how much did you feed it in the wintertime? Did you look at your feeding in the winter? Did you put them on some kind of a diet? So we know here we can't loft fly in the winter in our area because of the hawks. So what'd you do? You fed them potatoes and bread and potatoes and beef and more potatoes and butter and gravy and all that. They all sit around in the loft. And then you try and let them out in April. The damn things can't even get off the floor. They're so heavy. So I mean, there's another excuse. Guys just do it. Oh well, I just throw the feed in. They got no system on feeding at all.
So when I look at this again, I see the spread, and it's a big spread. It's got birds in Kitchener and birds all the way to Scugog. It's a big spread. These birds should have come far, far better than what they did. I'm going to say that this combine here, I see there's about 2 or 3 people that are putting some work in.
What's the return?
Uh, well, what is there? I would say that there's 20 minutes after the first bird, there is how many guys that have 5 birds? One, two. Wait, is that right? Am I right here? I want to make sure I'm not lying. One, two, three. Wait. There's 3 guys in 20 minutes that could get 5 out of their 20 birds home.
Okay, so let me comment on that. In 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
5 out of their 20.
180 kilometers.
Yeah, 5 out of their 20.
Mm-hmm. 100 miles.
Okay, yeah. Compared to, I'm saying, the Belgian flyers in Berlar.
Can I ask you a question?
That is plain garbage. That's garbage.
Is it like a comforting thing?
Yeah,
Every
it
time you
is.
say
It
that
is.
fucking
Yeah,
name,
yeah.
you just screw it up.
Don't
Like
talk about my handicap, please.
no, but
Okay.
you have like
So,
where right.
so, that seems
You
to
sound like a
that
fucking
seems to
parrot.
bother you. You want to
Well,
get
because
another
I don't
guy.
know why you just
Okay,
say
so
it.
what?
Just
Let's
say
not
the word
change the subject.
once.
What? Let's not say
Say it once, man.
those boys over
What
there.
town?
No,
What town?
those boys over there.
What town?
In those 20 birds they ship, those birds
Hmm.
in 20 minutes, they'll guarantee we'll have 18 in. Guaranteed to have 18 in 20 minutes. These guys here in 20 minutes can only get 5 in. That goes to show you they don't know what they're doing. Uh, in this country, this is garbage pigeon flyers. So if you want to bring up your level,
I'm not saying they're garbage. I'm saying they're not putting the work in.
that's
But they're pigeon flying.
that's garbage.
Well, yeah, but they're pigeon flying. They're pigeon flying,
Hmm.
aren't they?
Well, that's not really pigeon flying here. It's just lacking of of
Discipline.
of of what should I say? Practice. Their practice of pigeon flying is total garbage. Garbage.
So okay, I don't I'm not here to completely knock them. I'm trying to make these people a bit better.
Well, that's what we're trying to do, and they're all going to ask, "Well, why is this guy saying we're garbage?" Well, we just gave you some points to make you better this weekend, but maybe this year already it's too late for you guys because you haven't concentrated before.
I'm going to tell you,
I
and
think
I believe it what Dean Pallett said. If you want to win the last race of the season, you got to have them ready to win the first race. They got to be ready. And what I look at here is I see it. I see the people that are winning here or are on that first page. I already know they're doing the most, which okay for that, but they're not doing very much. And a fun fact, I just want to point out something. I'm going to give a big congratulations to Andy Pilata in this race because again, Andy Pilata beat the cheater Oscar and Linda DeVries. Whooped them. Where are they? They didn't even make. What did they even make the page on the first? Oh no, they were 155th. 155th. They were 28 minutes off the pace. So congratulations to Andy Pilata for the Skugog win there. I like that. I think that's very nice. And again, guys, the only reason I bring this up because Oscar and Linda DeVries,
the
they're
better known as they were the Dutch touch.
yeah,
And I'm telling you, the poor people in Holland,
they got a bad name from these
Netherlands.
guys.
Hey,
I feel
come
bad.
take that name off, please.
Well, they don't.
That
They
gives
don't.
them
They
a
don't.
bad
They don't
reputation.
call their name the Dutch Touch anymore.
Oh, they took it off.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, changed combines.
Yeah, he couldn't win in the EOC, so he's going to try it now in the up north again. But I can see here, and I'm using him as an example because he's taking money from you guys. He's flying pigeons in a one-off race for you guys, and he can't even he can't get close. And I hate to say it, but he's a cheater. I'll point him out every week. But that's the first race of the season. Hell, is there another one? They went to North Bay this week. How did everybody do in North Bay? Now, guys, North Bay is about 150, 160 miles. And let's see if it got better. Wind, what was the speed? Flying 1500s. Good, fast, easy race. They shipped 60 lofts, 1,000 pigeons. I think that's nice. 1,009 pigeons were shipped, 60 lofts, 1,009 pigeons. Let's take a look here again in the first 44 pigeons. It took them 6 minutes to clock. So birds picked up a little bit better. This race is coming a little bit better, a little more smoother. But let's see here. I just want to see in 20 minutes. So there's 80 birds in 11 minutes, 132 birds in 15 minutes. In 20 minutes, 176 birds. I'm just sort of looking here just to see 25 minutes. Yeah, about 300 birds in 30 minutes, give or take. Better race. You see the birds a little bit more. Another big shout out to Andy Pilata. He won the combine, took the first 7, beating Mr. DeVries again. That's nice to see. Good job, Andy. And if I'm not mistaken, on the first week, do you know why the results were so poor? The first week they had east wind. This week they had northwest wind. And I'll tell you, most of the guys don't play on east winds. So what does Michael Peebler says? You think most flyers keep too much shit and not enough so they can just fly and race. I think a lot of people can't. But you know what? I'm not gonna say a lot of people.
I agree.
Michael Peevler, I agree with what you're saying. People keep a lot of shit, but I can say this seriously. I don't think the people have the right to call the pigeons either, because if they're not putting the work in, how do you call a pigeon?
Yeah, you can't call a pigeon. You're not. You don't have a set of rules of your own. You don't have a set of rules saying, I'm going to be in there every morning at this time. I'm going to loft fly until this time. I'm going to call them in when I figure they're ready to come. Oh, they're up half an hour or not 40 minutes. They're flying. Oh, I give the signal, bang, to get in. I'm gonna do this on this time. I'm gonna do this on this time. If you're not doing that stuff, then you can't blame the pigeons keeping shit. Really, I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm the pigeon and I know what has to be, I'm a racing pigeon, and I look at you, the manager, I go, look at this guy. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He don't know what he's doing. So, what do the pigeons feel about you, buddy? Say, hey, he don't know what he's doing. They know, they don't. He doesn't know what he's doing. Now, I got a friend in Belgium. He's flown, I don't know, 10 races now. 10. He starts with 12 pigeons. He flies against every weekend in the trailers. I'd say between 25,000 and 60,000 pigeons. It varies. And the span is the length of whatever the width of Belgium is, east and west, and in between. And in the organization where he is, within 5 kilometers, there's 1,450 flyers. I said that last week. Well, I was talking to him on the weekend. I said, every week those 12 cocks go. They go. And, the other day I said, he got 5 cocks, first pigeon to the fifth pigeon. He got them in 1 minute and 33 seconds, came singles. Not 2 in a drop, 3 or all 5 together. Single. So I said to him, hey, how's it going? I talked to him on the weekend. How many birds you got left out of your 12? Huh? I got them all. I said, oh, yeah. Yeah, but I have 11 now. I said, why? He says, you know the one? Because I was there 1 week. He said, I'll eliminate him. He was, too many times, 10, 15 minutes late. Too many times. Flying against, 30,000
But
pigeons.
but hear what we're saying.
But those guys,
He was too late. 10 or 15 minutes. Now, and we talked about it. Hey, maybe stretch that bird out to a further distance, right? But then you think about it, no, they specialize in sprint racing. So he's on his rule. That pigeon, he still can race another 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. There's no more chance. You're in the bin. I'm not feeding you. I'm not looking at you. I'm not wasting my time.
Attitude, the pigeon's attitude, and with his mosquito, professionalism, he don't play around with that shit.
It's on your hand right there.
Yeah, right here. Bang. I just killed him.
So,
so that's what I'm saying. The guys say, well,
when I look at both those races, I see the weather and the wind. Guys, you have to play them on the non-favorable days, and you have to make them come home with confidence. Always remember, when you play fight with a pigeon in the loft, you play fight with him. You always make sure he wins. You put your hand in the box, he's playing, he wins. When you take them training, they have to win. You're not out there to train them to break them. You're out there to train them to make them do the mission with success. And if they do that, they get more confidence. And you know what? The more confidence you have, I hate to say it, the better you get, right? And you learn what pigeons can and cannot do. Can and cannot do. But you only learn this by playing them. Now, we look this weekend, and EOC, they're going to have their first race. It looks like it's going to be rain in the forecast. Will they race the birds? 40% chance. I don't know. The up north, will they race? I don't know. I say take the birds up. They will have more than enough clear skies to do it. That little bit of patchy rain through does absolutely nothing. But again, the fair weather flyers, they will say, no, this can't be done, blah, blah, blah. And it ruins it. Pigeons need to have the work. Rest is great, but remember, rest adds rust.
I know Marcel said there the one race, he said it was a little bit slow. I said, yeah, okay, what? He says, oh, on Liberation, there was rain. They liberated.
Yeah.
He said it made it a little bit slow, but he says they come through, eh?
Robert Dutcher says the basket will call itself. Yes, it will. Good evening. Good evening, Ryan and Ricky. 7 from Virginia Islands. Nice to see you on. What else are we going to say? I just think, getting back to Michael Peevler, I think, and I even watch, I watch what pitching, like, I'm looking at this area here. The up north combine, it's a lot like, I think, the Holland flying style. They go up in the races, up from 100 miles to, let's say, 500 miles. I see people going out there and buying Kittle sprint pigeons. They live at the farthest part of this combine, that combine, the up north combine, right? So the first race for them is 135, 145 miles. Those Kittle birds were already maxed out at that. And you got all these other races to go. And you're going to play those pigeons. Guys, here's another thing. Get pigeons that are middle distance pigeons. Middle distance is a good all around pigeon.
But remember one thing.
I'm seeing people that buying sprint pigeons and they max them out before they even start.
Yeah, they max the pigeon out, but remember the sprint pigeon is a performance sprint pigeon.
You know what?
Has a super better, quicker brain. That's what makes him so sharp.
Hold on.
Right.
You can give me sprint pigeons, and I'll fly a whole old bird season from 100 to 500 miles. Right. I'll do it with sprint pigeons. But I guarantee you this: I will make sure that the damn sprint pigeons have the lump to do it. And I see guys, they train their birds 4 or 5 times before the first race, and they think that their old birds are in condition. Their minds are as flat as pancakes, and they're not loft flying right, and they're rusty. And they send them down there, and it's a disaster.
What does it take? And I mean, a racing pigeon is really the same as a human. What does it take to get a body into condition? how many weeks does it take to get the body into condition from sitting on the couch to get that body into condition where it can actually play the sport? How many weeks, you know?
Well, let's go back in time.
Mm.
Let's say in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. We'll probably say hockey players, baseball players, and football players.
Mhm.
When their season of sports was over, they went on holidays. They drank beer and they got fat. And they had training camp a month before the season started. And they got in there and they worked on getting in shape, right? Now we're here in the 25th century.
25th.
Fucking, I don't know, whatever year, 21st. Are we here 2025, 25th,
It's not
whatever.
okay, go ahead. You're good.
The athletes finish winning the Stanley Cup, they finish winning the Super Bowl, and they finish winning the World Series. They take 1 week's holiday, and then the athletes are back in the gym, keeping in condition. They're not like the old days. Now, if you think about it, for all you people, when the old bird or the young bird races are over, or the old bird races are over, you park those pigeons, and a lot of people dump the feed, dump, 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 dump. And those pigeons, they just go like this. They fill up. Now, they look at their watch and they go, oh God, we got to start racing old birds in 5 weeks. You now got to pull the weight off them and get them to fly. They're not in condition. When the season's off, get them through the molt nicely, manage the feeding. You can feed them the best feed, but you better make sure they're on a diet. Best feed. I don't want you to feed them depurative. I want you to feed them the best feed, but you have to know how to feed them so they're not fat. And you're going to rip your shoes off. Hold on, we got comments. Hey guys, it's been a while. Hey Cade, it's been a while. Yes, not a lot of comments tonight. Shows always work better when the people comment.
What my question was, you got the couch potatoes. You're trying you keep them on a proper diet
Mm-hmm.
in the winter, so they respond to you. Drop that feed down. Like I always say, their wings should be up about halfway when they're eating, not all the way up in the air, about halfway, not tucked in when they're eating. Okay, that's a nice sign. But they can't let them out. So, what would you say it takes to get a pigeon into half ass form to start training?
I think they need 4 weeks of loft flying and 4 weeks down the road.
So that's 8 weeks.
Yeah, and that's if you want a big advantage, if you have the weight right when you start letting them out. If you don't have the weight right, it's a guaranteed full 8 weeks. But if you have the weight right, you'll see that within a few days they're flying like the wind because you're not pulling it off them, right? And it's very hard on the body. Put the weight on, take the weight off. Put the weight on, take the weight off.
The other idea thing is don't overcrowd your pigeons in the wintertime. Don't overcrowd them. Very bad. I knew guys there that says, "Oh, I got 33 birds in that little closet there. See that? I got 33 birds in there. They're overcrowded." It's people don't think overcrowdedness is very bad.
Mm. People like to fly with a lot of pigeons, but they fly with a lot of pigeons and they put no work and they're looking for one lucky pigeon every week. Where you were in Burlar,
Mm.
guys fly with 12 pigeons and they fly a season. Yeah, a sprint race is okay. We're using that. It's no excuse. They still got to fly the races, but they know the pigeons. They know how the pigeons are feeling, what the pigeons are thinking. They know each pigeon.
They're out with 25 to 60,000 pigeons every week. It's just no. Hey, I'll tell you how narrow-minded the pigeon flying is here. We were releasing our one loft birds a few years ago beside the up north combine, and they got absolutely peepeed off. Like, oh no, And then I hate to say it, dummies. And if you're listening to me, you say the next year, well, I hope you guys aren't going to liberate in our airspace. Well, excuse me. Like, wow, it's your airspace? Oh, wow. Oh, I went to another event and I went, it was a board and bond race. Went there. I had 10 Icelandic whites. And that guy from Holland Landing, Kenny something there, he was driving the truck, taking the truck up. I said, "Hey, would you mind if I put my Icelandic whites on the truck? You got a bit of room there, so they get liberated with, with this trailer." I got this guy. His name is Helmut Huber. He comes up and he says, "No, no, no. They're going to foul up the race. Those Icelandic whites, they're going to screw the race up." Can you imagine what this idiot comes out with this in his mouth? He's so full of, I'd say, shit. It's terrible. Like, I'm just saying, these people in Europe, they're flying against 25, 35, 40, 55, 60,000 pigeons going up together. And, we got here guys going, well, we don't want to get them in with mine because it could be a little bit of a drag. Eh? It's going to drag the pigeons off. Are you kidding me? But I'm saying that's how non-educated the minds are of the people with pigeons here. And you get a guy like, we talk about this Helmut Huber guy, or you talk about this other guy, Dutch Touch guy. Huber's a German, the other one's a Dutchman, and they're influencing people in this country by making stupid shit statements.
And you want to
Sorry about that, guys.
Do you want to know why?
Oh, Ryan.
Do you want to know why they do that?
Ryan.
So they control.
Oh,
They control the
they,
group.
They control the group. That's right. It's like whacking the dog every time on the nose when
But
you see him. Every time that dog thinks, you whack him in the nose. After a while, the dog becomes non-thinkable. He becomes stupid.
but anyways, you know what? That's what it is.
Ryan, how dare you say so much?
You said quite a bit.
I said quite a bit. How dare he say that?
Can you grab me a Coke Zero?
Coke
There
Zero.
was Walmart didn't have Pepsi.
Oh, Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. And grab me some ice. We've been on 54 minutes. Hey guys, if you want to keep going,
make it a 1 hour show. That's it.
1 hour? Well, hey, if you guys don't ask some questions, we're going to shut her down early tonight. Because again, as I say, I can't. I got to get Lars on. We're going to do Saturday with Lars. I might have Ricky on for that one as well. We'll have some fun.
Here you go. This is spring ice, eh? Not winter ice.
Thank you.
Oh. Hey guys, we speak the truth.
Actually, you know what?
We speak the truth.
We just look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
You know what? And
Totally different. It's truth.
well, we look at it. We're looking at it through how the professionals are doing it in a different area, and then you compare it. Right? You see the differences, and that's fine. What else was I going to say this evening? Um, I'm just pulling this up here. They had some other results with basically the same.
Now, we'll see this weekend. We're going to look at the EOC.
We'll see how they do.
Ridiculous 5 birds flocking idea. How ridiculous that is. I was discussing that with some of my friends in Belgium, and they said, well, first of all, those people, soon they enter their birds, they nominate the first 5 birds. And then all the other birds, those birds are up for prizes to get good prizes.
Well, yeah, they're nominated.
But all the other birds get.
They're in the same race. It's the same. They can win.
They get points. Right? They get points. And when I told them about the system that this EOC does, this Bob Waterfall guy, it's like they look at that like, you got to be kidding.
But I found out something amazing. The EOC has a 5 bird. They ship, each member can send 5 birds to the main race. So they have, I believe, 35 members. So it's going to be 175 birds in race 1.
Right.
Okay. Then they have a second race where they're allowed to send 25 birds, but that's going to get a race result. But no points, no nothing.
No
Okay.
points.
All right. Now, apparently, you all people, you like big races with big prize money and big birdage. Everyone likes a big dick, right? Everyone loves a big dick. In the EOC, they're saying, hey, you don't need to have a big dick. You don't. No, this is small. Now, here's the best. Okay, guys, this is what we're doing. 5 birds each race. Hold on, though. When they get to the 2 farthest races where they have to put the birds with the up north combine truck,
Talking 450, 500 mile.
425 or 450 in the 500-mile race, they put their birds with the up north combine for a release.
Uh-huh.
On those 2 races, you're allowed to send 30 birds, and all 30 count. No, 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 no. No, 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 Frank. Sorry, Frank. You made this bullshit up. 5 go. You can pay the Up North Combine extra money to let those birds out a half hour later or a half hour earlier. Pay the driver. Play the game from start to finish the same way. But you didn't do that. You've now changed the rules. So for those 2 long races, it's not fair. And I think, and I looked at it, I heard this. I heard this from a guy, a pigeon builder. And I thought, boy, this is interesting. Chris Marshall says, what when you prepare birds for a Mattawa race, would you feed them the last 3 days? What would you feed them? I don't know. Mattawa would probably be 120-mile race or 130-mile race. They don't need much fat. I don't think the pigeons need to eat on Friday at all. There's no feed on Friday. The last feeding should be Thursday night. And the last feeding should be Thursday night. And then no more feed. And I think they need quite a bit of corn. Any kind of fats you want them to eat at the beginning here, Wednesday.
It depends on whether it's going to be a headwind. What's the heat going to be?
Yeah.
Right. I make sure they got a water on a Friday.
They got to have water on Fridays.
Yeah.
But short racing, the birds got to be, the birds got to be empty. You always want the pigeons racing empty. So you figure it out so they're empty. So Thursday, if I'm flying on a Saturday race, 100 miles, I'm going to feed them good. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Make sure they eat real good. And in the late Thursday evening. And then Friday, I just want them to drink and sit. I don't want them eating. No, I don't need that. So when they go in the basket on Saturday morning, the system's empty and they're ready to roll.
What did
And carbohydrates.
Marcel said to me?
You 2 things you need: carbohydrates and fat. You got to put the fat in on the Wednesday for sure, Wednesday and Thursday, and carbs.
He said that a cockbird going to a race should be on a 12-day-old young one.
Mm-hmm.
Ideal. And the hen should be on a 6-day-old young one if you're flying cocks and hens, okay? Mm-hmm. And he was strict. He said, if those cocks somebody doesn't come in a good performance time, he told me automatically He goes in the garden. He's done. He says that pigeon's set up to do that. Now you got to be like again. You got to be a pigeon trainer and a real right. You got to have all those little tick marks off, which is
Here's
right.
another thing. If you're someone who's open troughing and the birds got feed all the time, just put down whatever the hell you want: corn, peanuts, fats, and carbs. The pigeons are going to eat what they want. Chris, when you're asking about feeding them, they have to. When you feed them, they have to eat everything. But if you have a lot of feed on the floor, right? You can't hey, you can't do this. Pump them up because you do that through feeding. They need to have appetite. The more appetite they have, the better they blow up.
You control the feed.
You control the feed.
Go, I believe, and these professionals in Belgium, he needs a little bit of this weekend, and that's what he eats.
Prime example.
He tells them it's like a trainer on the hockey team or the coach, whatever you call them, the basketball team. Those real pros. That guy's sitting back and saying, "You don't drink Coca-Cola here, okay? You drink this drink, not Coca-Cola, and you don't drink beer. You do this. You eat what I tell you to eat because you're going to be. This is what I need out of you."
Prime example. Luca Campanini in Italy. I'm using this guy again. He had a great video. He showed us, guys, how he fed his widowhood cocks. Soup spoon in, cocks eat it. He says, "Oh, we're getting ready for the race. They need a little bit more. Whoop, a little bit more. Each cock." You look at Alfred Van Zoren when he won his Olympiada or his first national, Chateauroux. He was feeding the birds 6 times a day, every hour, a pinch, a pinch, a pinch. The birds had to eat everything he gave them. The only way they get them to eat like that is to get them on the proper feeding program. Now, if you're hopper feeding and open feeding, the last 3 days, I don't give a shit what you just put the feed in. They're gonna do it on their own. It's not how I would do it, but
If
there's people who do it.
if this person is doing this, and okay, you got to say to yourself, who in the world are you flying against?
But what does that matter?
No,
I don't. You can't blow the pigeons up.
No, wait. I'm saying, okay, you're doing it wrong, but who are you flying against? If you happen to be flying against Sorrel,
You're done.
your system, never going to do it. You will never touch this guy because you're way out of too much. Hold on. Too much. Didn't do this. 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 And that man, he does everything. He does everything.
Hey,
He's got it to his system.
hold on. You have to remember, every stone that you can unturn gets you a little closer to winning, and winning easier and easier and easier and easier. So when people say Sorrel Lambrex, he sent 14 pigeons to the race. He clocked 14 pigeons in 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. He will say, the last two are shit.
That's right.
And you know what? That's because he's the craftsmanship. Craftsmanship. It's knowing every angle of the pigeon. Knowing. I say it was very nice. I watched the Italian feed. Hey, he's the best flyer in Italy. Van Zorn, a top flyer in Holland, same way. Sorrel Lambrex, same thing. They showed you measuring the feed this way, this way, this way, this way. They're playing it a certain way. Now, this is as you get deeper into the sport, you learn these things. So, what's the best way to feed them? Like I say, you always go from light at the beginning, heavy at the end. And light at the beginning can still mean very good feed, but you feed very little. You need the stomach to say, I gotta eat. I gotta eat.
Ask yourself this question. I let my young birds out I let them out for a loft fly. They flying 30 minutes, 40 minutes. They're up, cutting across the sky, cutting their wings, tucking their wings. They're having a. Wait a minute. My program is 40 minutes, down. Goes out, blows the whistle, or throws a dropper. Whatever he does, those damn pigeons make a quick, they're going by, they make a quick U turn and drop. In 10 seconds, they're all in the loft. They're all getting, like you say, that measurement. That measurement. Do you think the boxer or the champion football player, he goes, give me another plate of food. Here, I want more. Give me more. No, no, no. He's told this is what you're going to eat. And that's what he eats to keep, right? In form.
Yeah, and Alfred says you got to watch the pigeons, watch what they like to eat, watch how you feed them, what they leave. Guys, I say it again, the bags of feed, okay? And I will say the Van Roby's feed, the Evolution mix, whatever. When you feed your pigeons, they eat it all or they don't get no more. They eat it all, they eat it all, they eat it all, they eat it all. When they start leaving feed, they're telling you they're done. The only time you're going to give them a bit more feed is on the last feeding or two. That'll be it. Other than that, the rest of the week, when I feed you this, it all gets eaten.
You know, little things. Marcel and I were talking about. They got dandelions there growing up in Belgium. I said, yeah, yeah, we got dandelions too, boy. Sometimes there's a whole yard's full of them, eh? He goes, yeah, I guess you know, eh? Dandelions. You know what we do? What I do? I said, what? I take them. He makes a tea. He boils them
Mm-hmm.
from the roots,
Yeah.
the leaves. He boils it all up. I make a tea, and especially now at this time of the year, my pigeons drink this tea. Very good for the pigeon, he says. Very good. We don't even think of that. You know, that's a little thing.
I'm going to ask you something.
Excuse me.
You were talking to Marcel. Now, Marcel's a name that nobody here knows.
No one knows.
Nobody knows him even in the world. But in that little area of Burlar, he has a lot of friends. He's a good pigeon man. He's known in that area. People will buy bonds from him, play with his pigeons. And he's a good pigeon flyer.
Very good.
All the times you drank the Schoof and the Duvel and went to the club and had a good time.
Mhm.
How many times did he say to you, I gotta treat him for this. I gotta treat him for this. I gave him this in the water, that in the water, the
Never.
drugs, the drugs.
Drugs. Never.
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 Carl Lambrechts. How many times you're with them? How many times drugs in the water?
It's yeah. Yeah. They do vaccinate though for the
Yeah. Okay.
PMV and
The
for the
PME and
and the
whatever.
pox.
But he didn't say, hey, today I got to give them this treatment, that treatment, this treatment.
Well, I don't do it either. I don't do it. I do not do it. Okay. But I heard guys here, these are professional pigeon flyers here from Canada, from the up north combine. Well, I get my pigeon home, and the first thing I do is I hit him with a coccidiosis. Then the next on Sunday, I hit him with a. Then I hit him with a respiratory. Then I hit him with this, and then I hit him with that. He's got the damn thing so, so
We call it cocktailed.
cocktailed.
And
It's sad.
you have to remember something. Try it yourself. If you're not a big drinker, I'm going to put it to you this way. If you don't drink at all, go out tonight and have 5 shots. 5 shots in a half hour. Anything you want. 5 shots. It don't matter. Tomorrow you're going to feel sluggish like shit. Okay? Or smoke some marijuana. See how you feel. Or do some hardcore drugs and see how you feel. Guys, it hits the pigeons the same way.
Take cold medication today. Tomorrow, take what is it for diarrhea? X-Lax or whatever. The X-Lax makes you have a dump.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Take
right.
take something now so you don't have a dump. Constipate yourself. Then it's yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
uh, uh, uh,
It's like
you know,
so I don't believe in it, and some people do it. They believe in it. I don't. I just think they do it because they've been on a program. They had some dummy like uh, Dutch Touch. He's selling the shit. Oh, you gotta buy this, man. I'm selling it. Get a bottle of this. Tell me the truth. You gotta give it. Now, get a bottle of this one. You gotta get it. All he's doing is selling you drugs because he's got to make some money. Pump him up, right? And if he's doing it, you can sure see how he's flying. He's way off, way off.
well, that man
We
there,
keep bringing
that
his name up because he
well,
gets
hey,
burnt.
hold on. He's a national winner. He's la da dee 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 da. He lived out there in Ottawa and he bragged to the world. And then he come here, which is really, hey, what is here? Here's still nothing. But guess what? He really shows he's shit. Rob Vanderent, doctors, no different. No, and Rob's right. Doctors are no different. They pump you up with drugs, pump you up left, pump you up
That's
right.
100%.
When the birds come back, you want to rebuild them. You want to rebuild them with feed. You want to rebuild them in the water. You want to rebuild electrolytes, whatever you want, build them up. When they come home, it's the build up. It's quickly getting everything that they lost back into them. But the next day after this, it's then this. Let them just charge. Don't fill them up with feed. Let them, everything they took from when they come home. And I don't think clean water when they come home. I think you got to have the sugars, the electrolytes, the stuff to rebuild them quickly and fast.
Put some honey in the water. Yeah.
You've seen some of our hey, you've seen some of our videos with different guys. They put different stuff in. And you know what? Go look up stuff to put in for good rebuild. You can put natural products in, but load up the drinker and make it taste nice and sweet. Boom.
I don't think a professional soccer player, a professional basketball player, or whatever they are, after the game, they go in the next day and drink cough syrup. I'm trying to build up cough syrup. I'm taking medication so I can have a dump. I'm doing this. If you got a bird that's coming home from a race and he comes in and he looks like he's pooched, that means he's worked his ass off and he's coming in time, in prize time.
Mhm.
Okay? Not coming home like 6 hours later. I'm talking a pigeon in prize time. That means he worked his butt off. He comes in. All he really wants to do is get a drink first. He doesn't want to go and hit the feed
Well,
trough.
I'll tell.
Okay. So then he goes into his box and you look at him and he goes, actually, he's kind of stumbled when he walked across the board. Like, holy shit. And he goes into his box and he's looking like, you see him, he's Humpty Doo. He doesn't even want to jump his hen. He don't give a shit, man. I just worked my ass off. I'm not interested in jumping her right now. Sorry, but Anyways, you should go back there in I would say 2-3 hours and go look at that cock or the hen. Instant rebound. He should instantly rebound. The next morning should be ready to play the game. Ready to play some game next morning. But if you go out there and next morning he's still looking umpty doo, uh, okay, number one, maybe there's something you did wrong. You didn't train him. You didn't loft fly him. You overfed him.
Hold
You
on.
did
When
all this
when he's
shit.
looking cooked, when they come home, okay, look, yeah, I'll go back almost every hour, every 2 3 hours. I look, I see, I want to see the evolution. But if I don't see it, the pigeon's either cooked. I didn't give the I didn't work the pigeon right. It can be my fault too.
That's what I just.
But if all the other pigeons are looking bang, 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 great, that pigeon, he's no good.
They should bounce back. They're an athlete. He could be a little bit. He worked hard after the game. He's tired because he worked hard, man. He
And
should be sweating
and
after
I
that
and
game.
I will tell you, they will come home and they will have their drink. They will sit. They will go with their hens or the whatever. 40. It's going to take them about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then all of a sudden the feed trays. You have it full of all the good feed that they like. They start to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. You leave that feed, and I'm telling you, you leave the feed. But at the end of the night, all the feed comes out. The birds will have everything they need. And the next day, don't bother them with feed. Let them now digest all the goodness. And in the evening time, a little bit of nice fresh grit, a little bit of candy seed in there, a little bit, just to say, hey guys, they come down. They won't come down like crazy, but they'll come.
A little bit of
But that next
safflower.
that next day, that next Monday morning, when you let them out, you're gonna see a bomb. David Tracy says, I give the birds vitamin B12 and probiotics in the water, put pink minerals on the food, and good grit on the return. I find when the birds come back, I like to put the stuff in the water. I like to leave the feed pretty much nothing on it. Um, but if you and here's another thing, if you're going to start putting shit on feed, and I don't mean shit as a bad thing. If you're putting, hey, if whatever you're putting, garlic oil or this or that, make sure you're doing it when like beginning before uh, week one of of loft flying. Start it then, so the pigeons get the taste of it. Don't start putting on new stuff that you haven't used the day before the race, because you don't want them to have this taste of,
Like what?
I don't like this shit.
What the hell's he doing?
Small tip: how to scrapper as I do it. When they come home, feed light. In the evening, when they are all home, give them heavier food with yellow drops. Sunday morning, start again. Build them up light. Now, Alfred just told you what I just said. When they come home, he says feed them light. But what he's really saying is when they come home, they don't give a shit to eat because the system's worked. They come home, they have the drink, they sit with their girlfriend or their cock. It takes them a few hours to come down to the, and then they want to eat dinner.
Listen, Ryan, you played on a professional soccer level, and after the game, you don't get off the field after you sweated hard. You did all the sweating, hard work, and eat a steak dinner.
About 2 hours after you're eating, and when you eat,
That's
you're
right.
damn ready to eat.
Yeah, you gotta exactly. You gotta come. You take a little drink of orange juice or a drink of water or something. You just sit back and relax. Take a shower.
But what Alfred just said is he's 100% right. It's as I say, when you train your pigeons all come home. Oh, they're all home. Nope, they're not home. We're out. No, okay, everybody come in with a little sprinkle of feed, a little sprinkle. When everybody's home, we'll sit down and have family meal. It's going to be about an hour after they're all home, so the system comes down. Then they eat. They eat 5 times better. And I believe, you want pigeons to eat. But remember, you're the controller of how they eat. If you overdo it at the beginning of the week, they won't eat right at the end of the week. The biggest meals have to be the last 3 times you feed them. 2 times, 3 times, 2 times. Most races, 2 times, I think. But who am I? But Alfred said exactly what I said. Same sort of thing. Hey, light feed. Okay, have light feed. Pigeons come home, they don't want to eat when they put out an exertion. They want to have a good damn drink.
Good drink.
But don't be cheap in what you put in the water, eh? Give them the goods in the water. And I'll tell you something. Make the water fresh. Never make the water cold. Make it lukewarm or warm because you don't want them to.
That's right.
Cold water in the guts is not good.
The worst thing you can do is when you're playing in a sports is you're hot to drink ice cold water.
100%.
That's the worst thing you can do. It just goes down and hits your lungs. It hits everything, right?
Oh, you get an ice cream.
That's how you get tuberculosis.
That's right. So your water should be room temperature. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I would think.
And if it's a bit warm, it's okay.
Well, I think we better cut this show out here, Ryan. We're over what we thought we would be, like 1 hour.
All right. Well, let's end this with what Rob says. I know with dogs, when they are gone down, I bag into. They come back like you would not believe. Unfortunately, hard to do that with birds. Let's read this again. I know with dogs, when they are gone down, IV bag in. Oh, they go down with an IV bag. All right. Guys, feeding pigeons is real simple. If you want to learn how to feed pigeons, you have dinner with your pigeons every night and you'll learn how to feed them. Feed them very slowly, and you can be so silly. One fistful at a time, and they all clean that up. On the floor, eh? Forget your feeders. Get rid of that shit. I hate pigeon feeders. I hate them. On the floor. One fistful at a time. When they're done that, make sure that they look at you and they say, "Hey, what's going on?" and have a sip of your drink, and then wait, and then another fistful. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And you feed 25 or 30 pigeons in 15 to 20 minutes. Slowly, you learn what they eat and how they eat. Two or three go for a drink of water. It's over. Good show tonight. As Alfred says, hey, lukewarm water always. Lukewarm water. Yeah, lukewarm. Room temperature, guys. If you're not sure, make your drinkers. Don't make them with cold water. Lukewarm water.
And make them a few hours even before the race,
So they come
ready to go.
ready to go.
Yeah, not ice cold water.
Good show tonight. That's Richard. I'm Ryan. We'll be on next Monday night. And Andy, keep it going. I feel real bad for you. You got to be in that club with that jerk. And that's for Oscar DeBreeze. And hey,
As far as I'm gonna have a little tip for Oscar.
you can't tip him.
I'm gonna tip you right now, Oscar. Too late for you to do any changes to catch up to this Andy guy. He's on his game, and it's too late for you, my friend. Too late. You might be able to tell the boys you're getting a little too old, and it's kind of because you're
No,
getting a bit.
I already got his excuse. He's got his one loft race, and he's focusing on that. And that'll be another train wreck.
Focus on what? On what he's not going to do
Yeah.
for the pigeons. Yeah, that's it.
But hey,
we don't want to get into that.
we don't want to get into that.
'Cause you know what?
Guys, my bet this weekend again is on Andy Pilata. Let's go, Andy. Hey, and Oscar. Get your oven mitts on. Linda, we love you. Be safe. Once a cheater, always a cheater. I'm Ryan.
Oh, remember, Oscar.
I just wanted to
say
end it. Why'd you have to say that?
Say it. I hope you volunteer to drive the Up North Combine trailer when it breaks down.
Well, yeah, that was the only race he won last year when he cheated with the EOC.
Yeah, you got to
Sorry.
watch out.
Sorry. We don't want to call him a cheater.
Apparently, the guy driving the Up North Combine now, he's suffering from what is it again?
Post-traumatic syndrome.
No, it's
Anxiety.
He's suffering from anxiety lately.
Listen, hold on. We don't want to do this to Oscar and Linda. They came to the big smoke to fly against the big kids. I still haven't seen him. The only time he's won a race is when he hauls a trailer himself.
That's right.
Hey, once a cheater, always a cheater. Guys, that's Ricky. I'm Ryan.
Ryan, you said too much tonight. Shame on you, Ryan.
Bye for now.